What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you almost you almost saw a trip section. Bringing you a review, as it says, for WWE Friday Night Smackdown. Yeah, just want to thank everybody, new and old, returning, all walks of life, for joining the video. And yeah, so. We started off with an epic Roman Reigns and John Cena promo, and I said epic. I think if I say it was you know how they usually say there's a match stealer. This was the match of the night. This was like the highlight of the night. One of the things I was afraid of was like, oh God, they started off with a banger, and I don't know. What could follow that, because that was a good way to start off the show. Like, we haven't had, I don't know how long it's been. It's been like a while since Raw or SmackDown had started with something, with a banger of a promo or a match, something of this caliber, and I'm glad it happened. But let me get into it. So John Cena came out first, obviously, get the crowd riled up. He talking about how basically he said he tell the crowd about to take Roman Reigns to school. He says that Roman, he's going to give Roman his report card. He make a reference. Actually, I rephrase that. He make a reference to going back to school. He know the kids is going back to school, so he said he about to give Roman Reigns his report card, and he said Roman is a D. Roman gets a D because he is a D. He is a big D, and all this, you basically understand what he meant by D. And then he said that at SummerSlam he's going to give Roman a F. Even though he was referring to it as failure, but he also was referencing his the original name of his finisher. Because for the PG era they changed it from the FU to the attitude adjustment. Now he was making also a reference to that. But then he said, he asked the crowd, do you think Roman Reigns is gonna be his, what? I don't want to get in trouble for cussing, but yeah, he said is Roman Reigns gonna beat my butt? Though he didn't use butt. And he said, and he just said he said, no, let me hear you, because this is your chance to stand up and let your voice be heard. Do you think that Roman Reigns is gonna beat my butt? And so he's like, in his. Everybody's chatting that the opposite. They think that John Cena is gonna beat Roman Reigns, but he's like, no. He said, he said, I got a degree in thugonomics, referencing his old gimmick, the doctor of thugonomics, and he says that, so the answer is yes. At SummerSlam, Roman Reigns will beat my butt, but he will. But all I got to do is, he said, Roman Reigns gonna beat my butt. Yes, he is. But he said, but all I got to do is pin him 1, 2, 3. He said that, and that's what's gonna end up happening. That's how you gonna get that F. Roman Reigns comes out. He tells John, John, okay, John, you know what? Don't waste my time. Let's get on with it. Give me what you got. And he said, he said, I'm not gonna. He said, and John C said, I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm going to say that SummerSlam for where I beat you and embarrass you at SummerSlam. And Roman make a jab about how John Cena is still cutting the same promo. He said he thought we was gonna get something original. He's trying to get John to do something original instead of giving him. He said instead of giving him the same old line. Giving him the same line from that the same lines that he always been saying about everybody since since he started, and he's John Cena really cuts into him, and telling him that he walk around like he owned the place, that the show is his. That he said and then he said the show belongs to the people, and all that type of stuff. And Roman said, we don't do things like how you do it. We're not about to come out here and bury the opponent, saying that we're gonna beat the opponent's ass. We're gonna Yeah, I did say ass. Forget it. I'm gonna say ass. But he said we're gonna beat the opponent's ass, and he said we do things different around here, and he actually praised John Cena and actually gave John Cena his credit as being one of the greatest. And he said that John is that good, because John said something about I'm here to help you, That's how, and Roman's like, that's how good he is. He's here to help the tribal chief. He's here to help me. So he's like, you know what, blah blah blah. I'm going. He said, he tells John that he's good enough. He runs out all the list of accolades, and he said, you know what, you're good enough. You are good enough to win the WWE Championship, but you're not good enough to win the Universal Championship. And he said at some time he said, I'm gonna beat you. He said, I'm gonna smash you, and then I'm gonna stack you. And then he said, then I'm gonna pack you up, send you on the pirate jet, send you back to Hollywood, because this is the last time we ever gonna see John Cena. Then he told John Cena to take it home and cherish it. And then John Cena did. Because I think he also made a comment about still being Mr. Missionary, and how Missionary might have worked for John Cena for 20 years, but didn't work out for Nikki Bella. And then John Cena, he got back at him. He said, "You come out here and you criticize me about making D jokes and sexual innuendos, and then you come out here, but then you reference a breakup I had, but you come out here and make a sexual reference yourself." So he said, he told him that that's the whole point about you, that he said they've been peddling you for 10 years and you're an embarrassment. Your gimmick, all that. He said it's not working. So then John Cena said, he turned it up, says he wanted to go in deep about Nikki Bella. He said, they've been peddling you for 10 years and haven't been working. You've been protected. You was a part of the Shield. You had this Shield, and you was a part of the Shield. And then he said, hell, you almost ruined Seth Rollins. He said, you almost ruined Seth Rollins. You ran Dean Ambrose from the WWE. I was like, oh Lord, that's when it got good. I was like, uh-oh. And then they just kept going in on each other, and basically he ended the promo by saying that he said he knows best. And he was talking about Paul Heyman, that I could take a lot of punishment and never give up. He said, hell, I built Suplex City. And he said, yes, at some time you is gonna beat my ass, you is gonna smash me and stuff, but all I have to do is pay you 1, 2, 3, because you gotta be the one to shine, not me. I don't have to shine, you gotta shine. So John Cena basically ended the promo, left out the ring. I kept telling him about 1, 2, 3. And pretty much that was like the best 10. That was a 10-10 promo right there. That was 10 out of 10 good best promo. We got the first match of the night, which was King Nakamura versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. King Nakamura has been on an impressive run of late, so there's no surprise that this match was a good match. It went back and forth. Rick Boogs and Aziz would get sent to the back for interfering too much in the match. The match still went back and forth, but then towards the end, King Nakamura just took over. His a series of moves on Apollo Crews that ended with him hitting the King Sasuke on Apollo Crews to pin him 1, 2, 3. And your new Intercontinental Champion is King Nakamura. I would say this was a good opening match to follow that promo, because this match was not, while it's not obviously as good as the promo, it wasn't a letdown match. It was actually a decent match, enjoyable match at that. But for me, anyway, then the second match was the tag team match of the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy, and I really couldn't care less about it, because we've been seeing them going against each other for quite some time. We've seen a variation of the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy, so it is what it was. Like I said, I do enjoy watching Montez Ford get the high flying moves going, but other than that, your winners was the Street Profits. It wasn't too big of a match, or big of a something to get excited over. We got a Seth Rollins promo, which was also a decent promo. Which I guess you could say this was a night of promos because all the promos was pretty much A+. Seth Rollins promo was basically, he comes out and run down how Edge was saying that he reveals to the crowd that Edge was not going to be here tonight, and he run down how Edge called him Edge Light. He said he was basically saying he's a light version of Edge. There we go. He said I'm a Edge Light, and how he said that his career. He said while he do give props to Edge for that their careers are similar, but he said his career was better, and he said he got video proof to prove it. So he shows a video package to the crowd. Basically, you could tell it was one of them heel packages where it was made to make him look good. And if it does say something good about the opponent, it was a backhanded compliment. So basically, it was basically he was trying, the video package was trying to show how even though Edge was the person who basically him and also Chris Jericho, who put the Money in the Bank ladder match on the map, he was the one who made it popular by cashing in at WrestleMania, basically tooting his own horn. He said that he basically told Edge that this ain't 2014. This ain't 2014 Seth Rollins. He said this time I'm not going to hesitate, because he said you're standing in the way between me and my family and the success and my family, and they'll need to enjoy. Because I guess he said, if he became champion, that payday with being champion is part of what helped his family. He said Edge is standing in the way of his family, and that he said something about Edge's kids and family again, and saying that he said that they should be thanking him, because if he would have stomped Edge's neck back then, he said Edge would have never been able to come back. He said the WWE Universe should be able to thank him, because he should thank him because Edge is here because he didn't stomp him, because he hesitated. That's how we got this dream match of Seth Rollins versus Edge. How we got Edge coming back to win the World Rumble, everything that Edge did since coming back to being an actual wrestler, he said was because he didn't stomp him in 2014, when he said that in come SummerSlam he's not going to hesitate, and that he is going to stomp Edge, and that if it caused him to if it caused him to the rest of his career or whatever, then so be it. We got the third match, which was Dom and Ray versus Rude and Ziggler, and I guess it was a match that we've seen before, but it was an okay match. It was better than seeing Ray and them versus the Usos, but it was still kind of a match we've seen before. But it was kind of okay because it had a little story to it. Because the Usos would be on screen trying to taunt Ray and them, trying to distract them, so they end up losing. But the opposite actually happened. Dominic did get distracted for a minute because they try to play. I guess the storyline here is now Dom's inexperience is starting to show, his overconfidence and inexperience starting to show, which is costing him matches, and it almost cost him this match. But he would end up getting back on the right track, getting back on the winning track, and actually he would end up getting a roll-up victory over, I think it was either Dolph Ziggler or Robert Roode. But yeah, your winners is Dom and Ray. We got a promo with Baron Corbin. He came out again asking for help, basically asking everybody for money. He said he's not going to ask people again because he said this is the last time you're going to be asking the crowd, because he said they do nothing but cheer for his downfall. But this would bring out Kevin Owens, who was telling him to help himself, to quit embarrassing the WWE. But Baron, he said all he needs. I think because Baron Corbin asked in the promo, can I get a minimum of $1,000 from everybody to donate to him? But since since Kevin was out there trash talking him, Baron Corbin said, you know what, I'm not leaving this ring and in this arena until you, Kevin, give me a minimum of $1,000. And Kevin was like, you know what? You know what? I'm going to give you $1,000 because obviously people don't want you in the ring. People are cheering for that, so people don't want you in the ring. People don't want to see this no more once you start better WWE. So I'm going to give you $1,000, but it's only be on one catch. we're gonna have to have a match. If you could beat me in the match, I would give you $1,000. But if you lose, you cannot beg me, the WWE Universe, or anybody in the back, anybody anymore. You have to help yourself. So Baron Corbin agrees. The match goes as you thought it would, go back and forth, and Kevin Owens, instead of getting the stunner for the victory, he got a roll-up victory on Baron Corbin, which means that Baron Corbin could no longer beg people for money. And then he would get stunner at the end. This would lead to a backstage promo where Baron Corbin was being interviewed about what he's going to do now, since he lost and now it's forbidden to ever beg people for money. And as he was getting ready to answer that, he sees something off in the distance. He takes off running, and what he sees is Big E in the back at the table, look like his catering, and he gets ready. The Big E look like he's getting some food and talking to people, and he pushes Big E and steals Big E's Money in the Bank briefcase and takes off running to God knows where. I just hope that they not doing what they did to Otis to Big E, in which Big E's going to lose the Money in the Bank briefcase to Baron Corbin, and somehow Baron Corbin going to use that to either fail or succeed and cash it in. I hope this is just like a way to have something for Big E to do, and Big E get his contract back. Then we got the main event, which is just a contract signing between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. And you could tell they were trying to turn up the heat. They were trying to compete with the promo from the first promo for the beginning of the night with John Cena and Roman Reigns. And it was okay. It wasn't a bad promo. It just I felt like they were just trying to let it naturally flow and let it be naturally good. They were trying to almost like they were trying to one up John Cena or trying to get their promo just as hype as them. But overall, it was a good promo. I mean, they trash talk each other, because Bianca's sitting there saying, "Hey, is you gonna run, or should I turn? You gonna run away and duck from me, or should I turn my back so you can stab me in the back?" Because she said, if you wanted a rematch for the women's championship, for the Smackdown Women's Championship that bad, all you had to do was ask. And Sasha felt insulted about it because she said, "Ass, you hit me, you used your stank." She said, "Your stank ass braid and whipped me and gave me a scar on my stomach that put me out for months." And she said, "You automatically want me to come back and just be your friend?" She said, Then she said, "Get real, B word." She called her a B word. I won't say the B word, but she called her a B word. And they started going back and forth. Sonya Deville tried to keep it in control. She forced them to sign the contract, but Sasha didn't want to sign it without some witnesses. And her witness happened to be Carmella and Zelina Vega. Carmella and Zelina Vega was looking really good in that ring, man. I ain't gonna lie. Their outfits was making them look really good. And I see that Carmella was trying to copy off of Charlotte. Because I think if you didn't know, Charlotte's outfit on Monday was kind of see-through. So because of the bright lights of the arena, you was actually able to see through Charlotte's stuff. And then Carmella looked like she tried to copy it. Zelina looked good, but they both was in there basically. You knew what was about to happen. So she signed it. She told Bianca to sign it. Bianca getting ready to sign it, but she knows what's about to happen. So she's basically like, she's sitting there bouncing a little bit, sitting there signing because she knows what's about to go down. Because you can see it as she's signing it, they getting closer. Zelina and Carmella starting to get closer. Then she's like, okay, she hurried up and signed it, keeping her eyes on them, looking back and forth. She heard the sign, and she take it and just throw it. She throws it at Carmella. I mean, not at Carmella, but at Sasha, and she takes out Carmella and Zelina for a temporary. Then she do like a monkey flip over the dang the table onto Sasha, beat her up, and then Carmella then would try to stop and get involved. She'll take them out again, but Sasha would hit the bank statement. Carmella then would get back to the ring, start beating her up. Sasha tells him, "All right, hold on, that's good. I got it from here. You don't have to do no more." And then she put her in the bank statement on top of the table to once again end the show with her having Bianca in the bank statement. Um, Overall, I said this episode of SmackDown for the first time, thanks in part due to that awesome promo they started off with. I say that if I have to give this episode of SmackDown anything, I give it a 9.5 big ups. Yeah, I give it a 9.5 big ups just because it was a decent promo. It wasn't bad. You know, it wasn't bad at all. It's a decent promo, and yeah, I just overall enjoyed it. You know, I mean, not decent promo. It was a decent show, I meant to say. And I overall enjoyed the show. But yeah, I just felt like it wasn't a bad of a show. It was decent. You know, I think the only thing I didn't, this was the first time from a long time I cared about a Baron Corbin match. But I think the only thing I didn't care for was the Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio match. Oh no, and the Street Profits match. There was 2 matches I didn't care for, but other than that, show was good. And that's all I got. If you enjoyed this video, then hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much you want to support the channel, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the tribe, and hit that notification button so you can get notified when I drop videos. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but stay tuned. I got another review video for you, and tomorrow I will have the review video for Marvel's What If.